So now you know how to choose a processor, a graphics card, and a power supply. But to fit all these components together, you'll need a motherboard. So first, what is a motherboard? A motherboard is a part of a computer that connects all your components together and lets them communicate to each other and allocates power to the processor, RAM, and sometimes the graphics card from the power supply. A better motherboard doesn't mean that your PC will perform better, but if you ever want to upgrade something in your PC, it's normally the motherboard that restricts your options, especially if it's very cheap. In this example, the motherboard on the left has way more features, but costs over 8 times as much as the motherboard on the right. Both would perform the same in terms of FPS in games, but the motherboard on the left allows for more expandability that would only really be needed for a PC enthusiast. So, how much should you spend on a motherboard? It depends on your budget and what you want to do with your PC. If you have a budget of around $700 pounds or less, and you don't want any of the fancy extras you get with an expensive motherboard, then just spending £60 or dollars or so will let you do that. If you want to be able to have more storage or more RAM or be able to overclock, then you'll need to spend around £100 or $100 on a motherboard. And if you have plenty of money and want the best PC available with 2 graphics cards, fast LAN connections, and everything you could ever want on a motherboard, then yes, that's when you spend £500 or dollars on a motherboard. You can buy motherboards from many retailers like Amazon, Newegg, and Overclockers. However, they are slightly more expensive than usual at the moment, but that should change later this year. Now onto the most important part: how to choose a motherboard. Let's get the checklist. You'll need to make sure the processor is compatible with the motherboard. You can find this on the official website from your motherboard manufacturer. Then make sure that your RAM speed, generation, and size works with your motherboard again by looking on your motherboard site and your RAM manufacturer's site. You don't need to do this with your graphics card, as PCIe is standard for every graphics card. Make sure that the size of the motherboard is correct with the case. For example, an ATX motherboard won't work with a mini ITX case. This is again on the motherboards and case specs on the manufacturer's website. You'll need to check compatibility in the same way for your storage methods and processor cooler. Thanks for watching. I'll list my top 3 motherboards for Intel and AMD in the description, and thanks to everyone who has subscribed.